Hello everyone, Spud here, and in today's video we are going to be building my new PC for YouTube and personal use and gaming. And yeah, so I've got a lot of brand new hardware in here. This is essentially going to be a full rebuild except for my hard drive. I actually am getting a newer hard drive in a bit here, but it didn't arrive with this stuff, so I decided to just go ahead and use my old one. Sorry I haven't made a video in so long, guys. It's actually been really crazy from this past week and a half here. I went to Colorado, I went on a family reunion, and just all in all, I've been pretty busy, and even now I'm working at a art expo to try and help out my family. But yeah, the reason I'm building this PC is actually more out of necessity than desire, as my old CPU started to fail right after I made my last DayZ video, and I decided, you know what, before this thing dies on me entirely, I'm just going to go ahead and get a new system. So starting off the package, we got 16 gigabytes of silver Ripjaw 5 DDR4 RAM. To cool our CPU, we have an H1151 Corsair liquid cooler. I butchered that name. We have an Asus Z170-A gaming motherboard. And of course, the brain of the system is going to be a Core i7 unlocked 6700k. Of course, here's my old hard drive, still good, and I'm probably going to keep it in my system after I get my new one as sort of probably just a raw storage drive for video files. 1 terabyte just for video files would be more than I need. The one I have coming in is actually 4 terabytes and is a solid state hybrid drive. So yeah, the case I have here is a Corsair 750D Airflow edition. It's got a nice grill on the front and large big side panel. On top of it, actually got this pretty cool sort of magnetic mesh covering as an air filter that you can just remove like that really easily to clean. As a back, it's got several PCIe expansion slots, the rear I/O, and a exhaust fan. Honestly, more slots than I'll ever need though. Now, something to remember when you're building a PC, just for general guidelines, is to always be very careful with the parts you're handling, and always make sure you just try and minimize contact with the bare components. Now, I like to use this little band here. This is actually an anti-static wrist wrap. You can put this onto a piece of metal and it will ground you and try to minimize the risk of static discharge on your components. Now, these things don't mean you will never get static discharge, and there's still a risk involved, so I just don't like touching the board. When I do touch it, I touch it near the edges or on the heat sinks. Just because getting it out by touching the raw PCB always sort of freaks me out. Now, for any new builders out there, you always can use the motherboard box as a building platform. Don't use the anti-static wrap it comes in, because the outside of that actually is conductive. The inside isn't, but the outside is. Just removing a bit of plastic from the board. I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to give you a view of it. Now, this will only be sort of a half build log, I'm going to say, guys, because about halfway through the build, my camera failed on me. So yeah, I've just been having a lovely time with tech recently. So the first process in a build, after you install the I/O shield, of course, is going to be to install your CPU. This is easier than you think it is. Just open up this little slot here, and you see the LG A1151 socket, and with your compatible CPU, which is not focusing. Focus. Oh well. Anyways, you're going to want to be lining up this little arrow on the card with the arrow right there, and just drop it in very carefully, because you don't want to bend any of those little pins. Now, once you have it in there, you want to drop the cover and lock it out underneath this little screw here we have on the board. Then you're going to bring the arm down, which will tighten it down, and once you get enough pressure on there, the black cover will pop off, and there you go. CPU is installed. It's pretty simple. You want to hang on that cover, by the way, in case you have to RMA the board. And yeah, the next step is installing RAM. This is probably the easiest step in installing any component. You just open up the retention arms, slide it in the right direction, because the pin will tell you that, and apply the pressure to each side until it locks into place. Pretty simple, not much to explain here. Now, this is where my camera failed, so unfortunately I'll always be cutting towards the finished product, and hopefully you guys forgive me. But once the camera failed, I decided to just keep on building, because I wanted the system to be done so I could start producing more content again. Benchmarks will be coming actually afterwards, because I do have, like you guys saw, a brand new EVGA GTX 1080 in this system. Now, this is the super clocked edition. Now, that means it's still running a default reference PCB from NVIDIA. That's why I was only got the 1.8 pin in there, but it is at a higher clock speed. I've actually overclocked a bit myself as well. Now this liquid cooler is badass, and I had no real problem installing it. It's actually a lot easier than installing an Evo, believe it or not. So yeah. Now of course, what rebuild of a system would be complete without complete setup rebuild? So I actually got a new table in here, and I took everything apart. And yeah, all in all, just got everything lined up again. So this is the new setup here. I think it's a lot cleaner. I have a lot more space to work with. I ended up having to get a controller for games like Dark Souls and stuff like that. But yeah, all in all, I've been pretty happy with this setup, guys. Anyways, sorry for the long delay. More videos will be coming out this week. And for all of you who watched, thanks for watching. And I'll see you all on my next video. Bye-bye.